Hello friends, and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, last episode we made a lot of progress in Sky Revolutions with setting up our immersive engineering whole factory here. So we have all of these buildings behind me. Most of them are old, but a couple of these are brand new to us, including the coke furnace over on the far side. We've got a crusher behind us, and from Create Mod we've added the accumulator as well. That's how we're getting our power generation. Now, we are going to make a couple of digressions today so that we can improve our power generation and our resource generation to get ready for the next stage of the game. So, with no further ado, let's dive right in. So, what I have been realizing here is that we are going to be needing a whole bunch of ingredients in the near future that we can't automate with our resource production that we currently have set up. Over here, our resources currently are giving us all of the things you see here. So we've got iron, we've got gold, we've got copper, we've got zinc. Those things we can automate, as well as flint, coal, redstone, blaze powder, bone meal, glowstone dust, all of that stuff we can automate. No problems there, this is easy. But for everything else that we're going to be needing here, we're going to need other ores that we don't currently have. So the only way that we can get the ores that you're seeing here is through sifting. Now, later in the game, we probably are going to unlock a better way of getting these. But for right now, I want to get ahead of ourselves in a couple of ways. And for that, we're going to need some of these things like aluminum, which we needed last episode. And I think I'm going to need tin this episode for some power generation that I'm going to want to do. So we are going to need to set up an auto sifting setup. Now, I had gotten a long time ago this click machine and been like, this doesn't work for anything I'm trying to do. Why am I even using this? Like, why is this here? Why'd you give it to me? I don't understand the point of this. And then I realized I can use the click machine with our sieve to generate things automatically. Like I can use this to insert items into the sieve and sieve it down over time. The problem with that is that the items that pop out of the sieve just go out into the air. They just land wherever they land. That's a pain for us because we want to collect those into some sort of an automated system. So to get around that, what we are going to do is work towards making a vacuumulator. Now, Vacuumulator is an immersive engine, or excuse me, not an immersive engineering, it's a thermal series. So that's a little ahead of where we are. It uses a bunch of things we don't have access to yet. So for instance, it has tin ingots. It needs 4 of those. We are not making tin in bulk, but I think I have enough laying around here in pieces that we can make it. We need an ender pearl. Now, the first recipe for ender pearl is using the philosopher's stone, but I noticed over here, well, you could sieve for it, but unfortunately all of these sieves are locked. You can't use them in this game. I don't know why they still show up in the recipe, but whatever, this pack has disabled them. But mana infusion will let us use a ghast tier to make it with an alchemy catalyst. Ghast tiers are easy because we can just drop an iron nugget on top of a blaze mesh mana pool. So those we have in spades. So let's grab ourselves an iron nugget and figure out which of these is our blaze. I think it's this one. So we should be able to drop this in, and that gives us a ghast tier. And then coming over here, it looks like we need more power. So let's grab up our wand. We are going to change our mana spreader to point at that pool. And now we just need to give it some coal, and it can start its process of giving us more power that we can then convert this. So we're going to drop this here, and I am going to go ahead and use my temporal pouch on my endo flames to speed up this process considerably. All right, we had to put a lot more fuel in here than I would have expected for those endo flames, but finally we are at the point where we can get ourselves a lovely ender pearl. So that just took using some blocks of coal instead of just regular coal, and I actually had to speed those up to 64 speed to be able to make enough mana. But we got there, so now we have it. So let's go over here and grab our tin pieces. That's going to be the next thing that we need here. And I think we can just do 4 of those, into raw tin. That's going to give us 1 more nugget than we need. We're going to throw that into the furnace here, and hopefully real quick that will cook up. But again, I am impatient, so let's do that super fast. Yeah, there we go. And we can put our leftover tin back in here for later. Now I'm going to just leave these going with these extra blocks of charcoal because we're certainly going to use this mana later. So yeah, we're gonna keep filling that up. There's our tin. Okay, what else are we now missing? We need a hopper. We can make one of those real easy. And we need a redstone servo. If you've played with thermal, you should be very familiar with the redstone servo recipe. Redstone dust wrapped around iron, very easy to make. Now, I think we have everything for a vacuumulator. Perfect. My only question that remains is whether or not the vacuumulator is going to need some sort of power source. I think they do, but I'm not positive, but we'll find out real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and set all of this up. So I'm going to use these blocks for where we're going to be storing the ingredients. So to that end, I am going to need to take some item pipes and connect all of this up because again, we still don't have diamonds. So in the meantime, we have to fake our way through it with using item pipes. So we put our vacuumulator down here. It looks like it doesn't need power. It looks like it doesn't need power from what I'm seeing here. So we're gonna assume that's doing what we want it to do. I wish I could see the range it's having though. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing that range, which typically some of the other blocks from other games do show you the working area for them. Now, we want to put our sieve down somewhere where we know that all of the items that fall out of it are not going to just fall into the void. So we're gonna make this platform just a little bit bigger here. Just a little bit bigger here. Okay. And now let's put our sieve down like right next to the vacuumulator. Okay, that should be good. And I think this actually takes augments to increase its range as well. Now all we have to do is finish configuring this. So let's put a flint mesh on there. We are going to then put our clicker next to it. The click machine is going to click this, and we need to turn it to face it, so we whack it with the hammer a few times. So that's pointing there. And then I do want to disconnect these. This pipe does not want to go into that, but I need one pipe that is going to supply it with the gravel it will be sifting. So to that end, we are going to come up here, and I think I have at least one oak drawer. I have a bunch of oak drawers. I can put that on top, and then I can put all of my gravel in there. I'm gonna lock this just to be safe, and then all we have to do is tell it to extract from there into the click machine. So that's gonna put into the click machine, and now we are gonna bump this up to full speed. Now, with any luck, the vacuumulator should do what it should be doing, right? Right there, it looks like it's pulling all of the items in. That's what we want to see. And then if we extract items from it, there we go. Yeah, all of those are going to get pulled out and put into the slots here on this machine, in this drawer array, I should say. Great. So there we go. We now can do just as much resource generation as we would like. The only thing we're missing is a way to get our gravel into it. So I might need to run a series of pipes all the way from this to there, because either I can pipe the gravel out of this machine, or I can run power from this system of cogwheels all the way back over there and run it instead, if that's how we wanted to do that. Actually, now that I think about it, y'all, there's another way that we can do this. Let me work on this real quick. What we can do instead is we can use an electric motor. That might be a fun way to do this. Now, this requires a lot of work to build. I'm not a big fan of having to build electric motors with all of these bits and bobs, but I think we can do it. Let's see what ingredients we have and what we are missing for that. All right, so the electric motor, we can make brass sheets easily. I think we have extra capacitors around. There's one capacitor. The main thing I think we're missing here are these copper spools, which we should be able to make 3 of no problem, but that is the last of my copper wire. So I do want to get to presses sooner rather than later. I think I have an iron rod left over, yep. So yeah, all that's left then is to go make a bunch of brass plates. And it looks like I am just about out of brass. So let me make a few more brass ingots, and I'm going to turn these into brass plates. We do that by just throwing it down here on our smooshing machine right here. So let me do all of that real quick, and I'm going to finish this up real fast. Okay, so one tricky situation is that we cannot have both our alternator running to be making power at the same time as our mechanical crafter. So it's one or the other, so I had to run all the way across the base and turn that off and then turn this one on. I probably should think about doing some remote redstone setup here sooner rather than later, because that will make that less painful for us. Be able to flip a switch from one point in the base and then use a latch so that we can turn that on and off. I think that would be fun. But for now, we're going to set this up. And again, since this recipe doesn't take up the whole crafter, we have to use a redstone signal to tell it to put this all together. So there we go. And now we have an electric motor. We need a millstone. Well, that's not going to be a problem here, although we are out of gears. So we do have the problem that we do need to make another gear or two. So let's grab some shafts. And we're going to put these here. Let's just do 8, 9. 9 is great. I can do that. That's all of my planks remaining, but it's fine. We can make more planks too. And then with those cogwheels, I can make the millstone, which I should have known that already. I just got all caught up. We'll put the millstone here, and that should then be able to insert, and we just can pull out of it. Now, the only thing this is now missing is, of course, the electric motor. The electric motor is going to go right here, but we need to rotate it. So let's grab our wrench. We want to rotate it like that. Although now I can't see the speed of it. We might have to move that somewhere that's a little bit better for us to be able to see the speed, but whatever, this will work. And then we put a cog wheel on top and the power on the bottom. So actually that means that's completely upside down. We need to flip it the other way, and that'll make this a lot easier. There we go. Now, if we connect it with an LV wire connector, I think this can go here. And then I think we should be able to take our wire coils and connect this to this. That should start going. Yes, it does. And then all we have to do is put another cogwheel on the bottom, and that will start crushing. Okay, great. And actually, can I put the power on the side? Because now I can't see the speed, and that's annoying. And I just lost that over the edge. Oh well. Okay. Not ideal. Not ideal. How about there? Okay, you're working well. This is draining more power than we are making, which only means that we need to more quickly get to the point of where we're automating power. So we're going to let that do its thing and jerkily twist away to give us our slowly but surely creation of our gravel. Oof, but that's really painful to watch. Okay, so I wonder if we could put a click machine on top of a handle instead. You think that would work? So can I replace all of this? Oops, let's do this. And then put a hand crank here? And then can I put a click machine on that? Will that work? Oh, I'm going to be so excited if this works, y'all. This is ridiculous. Let's go up, right click. Oh my God, it works. Oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. And 2 clicks per second seems like the exact amount to keep that going. Oh, you know what? I could even put a big wheel on that first. Oh, let's do that. Let's do that. This is so silly. This is so silly. I love it. Okay, hold on. And there we go. No electric motor needed. We just use old-fashioned hand powering, and that works just perfectly well for us. So, we do need to make sure that this does not connect to that. Hold on, this should not be receiving items. Good, okay. And yeah, there we go. Now this will click it away, and slowly but surely we'll make all of our lovely gravel for us. That is awesome and silly, and I love it. All right, so I refactored this a little bit. It just took a little while, and I think it works much better now. You can see I've scaled up the operation by adding 4 sieves and 4 click machines. That was easy enough. We're still using the Vacuumulator. But of course, the gravel situation is different because I'm actually piping gravel from our original gravel production from way back in the first episode, although I did refactor this as well. We're using crushing wheels now instead of millstones, but otherwise, basically the same thing. Got a rotational speed controller here that's using up a whole a whole lot of our precious stress units to be able to make that. You can see we still have 5,000 stress units left, so we're fine there, but we are basically overclocking the heck out of these crushing wheels to do roughly 16 gravel per second or per 2 seconds. So that's keeping up pretty well here with all 6 of our sieves that we've got. So that's working pretty well. I guess these are sifters, not sieves, but you know what I mean. 4 sieves, 2 sifters. So that is producing a whole lot of ingredients for us. Now we were producing so many items at this point, we actually had to upgrade the storage drawers. And I'm trying to click into it to be able to see the items there, but I just keep picking it up instead. But just trust me that I had to put a gold upgrade into each of these to keep up there. And then from the export functionality, we actually had to make pipe upgrades for pipes. So here we've got basic pipe upgrades. These are really simple. We should have done this earlier. This just increases the throughput of the pipes from 4 per second, I think, to 16 per second. And then the improved pipe upgrade further increases that throughput. So these are simple. We could have done that easily. To get to the advanced, we need a whole lot of diamond, and we don't have diamond yet. So that's how we were able to suck all of these ingredients quickly out of the Vacuumulator and into our storage drawers here. And that's keeping up pretty darn well. But look, we have a whole lot more flint than we are ever going to do anything with. So actually, we might be able to start thinking about repurposing some of that flint into making andesite for us automatically. But that's not for today's episode. I just want to get this set up so that we have all of these additional ingredients en masse for us to use. And here, of course, is why we wanted all of those ingredients en masse to use. We need Constantan plates. Constantan we make with copper and also with nickel. We didn't have really a source of nickel before, so we need to cook up a whole bunch of those. So first things first, let's find where our nickel is. I think it's here. Yeah. So we're going to grab up, let's see, 2 stacks of nickel. No, let's grab up 3 stacks of nickel while we're here. We are going to turn those nickel pieces into raw nickel. And whoops, that is not how that works. Okay, there we go. And we are going to then take that raw nickel over to our blasting setup over here. So let's turn on these fans, get that going, and now we can drop the raw nickel in here, and that should smelt down rather quickly for us into nickel ingots. Just trying to keep an eye there. There we go, nickel ingots. And then we can turn this all back off. And then we're going to grab, let's see, let's do half a stack of copper. Well, I'm grabbing a whole stack of copper, but we're only going to smelt half in our alloy kiln over here. So we've been making brass. Let's pull the brass out. We'll leave the copper in, and then we are going to do our nickel. There's our nickel, like this, and just top that up to 32. That'll be a stack there. Great. Okay, so that's going to make our Constantan for us. So we're just going to kind of hang out and wait for that to finish. Shouldn't take us very long at all. And I need 5 Constantan plates to make a thermoelectric generator. So let's go ahead and make up, let's say, I don't know, how many of these, like 40? That might be too much to start. Let's do 25 here. We're going to smoosh those down. And while that's going, we're going to check on our steel production. It looks like we only have 10 steel ingots here waiting for us, so probably a good time to introduce more coal coke into this arrangement here. There we go. And grab ourselves up another stack of iron to put in there as well. Now, pretty soon here, I should probably start bulk producing my iron so that we can do a better job here of keeping up with this. Or, excuse me, bulk producing our steel to do a better job of keeping up with this. Sorry, I really can't talk this morning. All right, so with our steel, we can then grab up our Constantan. Nope, give me that back. I do not want to smash my pickaxe. We will combine those here very soon to make this. But first we need that copper coil block. And that means, yeah, we need to make a lot more wire coils. So to get there, it looks like I can do it the old-fashioned way, which is to use copper wire made in that grinder thing. What do they call that? The rolling mill, right? So let's do that real quick because we don't actually have the wire press yet, and we do need it, but we're a little ways off still. So give me a stack of copper, and let's put this into the press. like so. All right, so now we have our 64 copper sheets. I think we can just drop those on top. Yeah, we can just drop those on top, and that's gonna spit out a whole lot of copper wire for us. We're getting 2 to 1 on that, so that should just take a couple of seconds here to grind through all of it. All right, and there we go. 64 pieces of copper wire, good to go. And now we can wrap this around some sticks and get ourselves some lovely, lovely copper wire coils. So there we go. Now we've got some copper wire coils. Let's do, yeah, a stack of those. All right, so we wrap those copper wire coils around an iron center, and then we have our blocks. Let's do 5 of those for now. And then we can make a bunch of these thermoelectric generators. Not as many as I would like necessarily, but a lot. Let's see here. Let's do this. Yeah, we got 5 of them out of that. Okay, great. All right, with those in hand, we are ready to set up our power generation. Now, it's a good thing we had built all of this out of cobblestone because power generation with these can be dangerous. In fact, I'm a little worried even doing it over top of that wood platform over there. So we're gonna come over to this side and set up even more of a platform well away from all of our wood. Okay, so these generators work by having 2 different sides opposing each other with water and lava on opposite sides. So in theory, I think we can do it in sort of a chessboard pattern like this, sort of kinda. Although we do need to scooch this over just a little because otherwise it's not gonna work out so well for us. So let's do here, and we'll do here. There we go, because we don't want to be too close to our other machines. Okay, so from here, we should have enough room that we can start laying this down. All right, so if I can remember this correctly, it's been a while since I've set one of these up. We just have to make sure that we are basically alternating between hot and cold on each of the sides of each of the faces. So for instance, if this is lava, then it has to be water on the opposite side here, right? And so that gives us lava on multiple sides of that, but then we need water on all of the opposing sides of that. And this is where the puzzle part sort of comes in, because this is water then, and then also, oh, are we out of water? I'm gonna have to go get some more water from the main reservoir, but then that means that we have to think about where the next lava is gonna go. I think the next lava goes here, and then lava goes here. Oh, but no, that can't work either, see, because it has to be checkerboard. So that actually has to be water there, and that means lava has to go there. Okay, I think I have this set up right now. So each opposing face should have the opposite temperature against it. So water to lava, water to lava, water to lava across here. So using the striping pattern here in the diagonals should give us the correct mix. Great. So with that done, we can start setting up our wire connectors. And we are short on wire connectors. Let me make a few more in a boop. All right, so with these all laid out, all we have to do is connect them up. So I think we're going to connect them up so that they can connect to that pole there, which means I'm going to put the pole here on this side. I should be able to knock an arm onto the side of here, and I'm going to hang the arm from the bottom of that wire relay. And then all I have to do is put my connectors on the top. Now you can't connect connector to connector directly, so instead we are going to use our wire coils to that relay. There we go, just like this. And all of that should then go into our network nice and easily. All right, before I connect this up here, I want to do a couple of other things because I do want to know how much power we're currently generating and how much we're going to be generating. So let's go ahead and take a look at our accumulator recipe. This is painful. We are not going to be able to build this in our current mechanical crafter. We're going to have to expand our mechanical crafter, it looks, by, let's see, 8 more mechanical crafters. So let's see here. What is the recipe again for a mechanical crafter? Because that's a biggie. Okay, great. So we're going to need 3 more electron tubes, which means more rose quartz. I can do that real quick. Let's see here. Rose quartz. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4 for good measure. Somewhere around here I left my sandpaper. I don't remember where I left my sandpaper, but I definitely have it. Well, I can't find it, so that's fine. We can still mix this up. Sandpaper needs a heated blaze burner under it, so let's go grab one piece of coal there. And now we should be able to dump in our water into it. Let's see, we'll put our fluid tank right here, and we will grab a bucket. We'll throw a bucket of water in there. We'll put our sand in there. We'll put our paper in there. And then we just have to give this little fella a little bit of help. There we go. And we should have, yeah, there's our sandpaper in there now. Great. And we just have to pull the water back out of this, which is always a pain. So just go to our fluid pipe here. All right, we'll pull the water out here with our pipe. There we go. Now this is empty. Great. We can take all of this to go with us and have more water later. And now with our sandpaper, we will do the normal thing that we had done before. We're going to polish this up real quick. There we go. Polish, 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 polish. Wonderful. Now we have rose quartz. That rose quartz we then, oh, we need one more. Great. And now we can use this with some iron plating to make our electron tubes. So let's do 4 of those real fast. And then we use the electron tubes with our brass casing mechanical crafter. So we just need to make ourselves 4 of those lovely, lovely crafting tables. 2, 3, 4. And so let's just do 9 of these. I have the extra ingredients laying around. If I do need more than that, I think we're only gonna need 8. But we're going to go ahead and put this in place. Let's see here. I think this goes, let me just check that recipe one more time. Not that one. We need this one. Oh, but it looks like there's 2 recipes here. This actually looks way easier, but we need this one to complete the quest. So let's make at least 1 of these. It says it's deprecated though, and it looks like the only use for this is to turn it into the other type of accumulator. So we'll do it for the quest line, but I don't think we actually need this in the long term. Let's put those 3 there. We'll put these 3 here, and then this gets 1 more here and 1 more here. And I think that is enough for that entire recipe. And then the only thing that we are missing is, I think, to make those ingredients for it. So we need a bunch of brass ingots. That looks like, my math here is a lot. It's a lot that we need. So 5, 6, and then 13 all day. We need 8 pieces of gold wire. That's not so hard, but we also need a bunch of capacitors. And for that, we do need more electron tubes. We will then grab our precision mechanisms up here, and we're going to spend those in this thing. So we put the electron tubes down, and then we put the precision mechanisms in the hand. Right? Maybe that's backwards. Do we do it the other way? Yeah, there we go. There's our capacitors. Okay, that was easy enough. So we have those, and then what were we missing? The gold wire. That's right. So let's see here. We'll do let's do 12 for now. We're gonna get double on that. I think it's because we're gonna use more of this later, which is why I'm going ahead and making extra. Do that thing. And again, the whole purpose of this, those accumulators are going to let us store our energy, and that's really what we want to do, is to store power in here. All right, gold wire, and I think the only thing we're missing now is the brass. So yeah, we got plenty of brass ingots. Let me just check that recipe one more time. Yeah, I think that's all that we're gonna need. Okay, so let's go and see if we can't figure out how to get this set up in this funky setup. So these go across the top, I know that. And then we do basically L's, little wings of the gold wire here. And it goes like this. And there, and there. And then the rest of this is brass, I believe. Just along these rows here. All right, so all we have to do now is push this button, and yeah, there we go. All this should come together into our first accumulator. Perfect. And now we have accumulators, and that completes that quest. And again, it doesn't look like this has any use except for to transform it into more accumulators. So from now on, we don't need to make them that way anymore, I think. So we should go ahead and make as many capacitors as we can here. It looks like, if I have enough precision mechanism laying around, yeah, actually our numbers work out really nicely here because I can make another set of 6, And those 6 with the few that we already have, I think will be enough to do a 2x2 block. 8 total, 2x2x2, sorry. Okay, so what did we learn here? We put the precision mechanisms down and we put the electron tubes in the hand. There we go. That's how that works. All right, so now we have capacitors here, and we still have enough extra gold blocks that we should be able to just make these accumulators real quick. Oh, what are we missing for that? The brass casing and a copper rod. Copper rod, easy enough. Okay, let's just take, let's see, we don't need that many. We'll take 16 of these. We'll make 16 copper rods real fast. Go ahead and dump that in there. And slowly but surely, copper rods coming in. Great, we've got 32 copper rods. I only needed 3, but that's plenty. And then we need brass casings as well. So let's go ahead and grab up 8 oak logs. Looks like we finally started catching up on production of our wood just by not using wood for a while. So that's great to see. We strip those and then we take a bunch of our remaining brass and we'll just make these all into brass casings. We break those using Ultimine. And now we have all of the brass casings and we have all of the rods. So with that, 4 more accumulators there. And then we should be able to do, no, I want more than that, come on. Oh, it's the other recipe, that's why. 6 there. What am I missing? Maybe that's all I can make. Do I not have any more? I thought I had more capacitors than that. No, that's right, because it's 2 to 1. Okay, well, I guess that's all we're going to do for now, is just do the 6. That's fine. All right, so I think these accumulators, I think I made a mistake here. I think you do need to have at least a square of however many you have. So I can't make a square with 6, so I do need to make 2 more before this is fully upgraded. But I think we can just put an LV wire connector on top of this, and it'll just magically work. But for right now, let's just go ahead and connect this directly into our accumulator. There we go. We have stored 256 Fe. That's a decent amount. Now let's connect our wire relay back into our system here, and now we should be able to store all the power coming out of this into our various machines, into our accumulator. Oh look, now the stored energy is going up dramatically. Wonderful. Okay, and I think I can just pull in and out from the same connector. I think that'll work, but we'll find out very, very, very quickly. In fact, we can find out super quickly by coming over here and disconnecting this wire. So let me clip that, and we're just going to turn off our alternator so that that generator is done. We are going to crush up some random garbage just to get the crusher to be out of power, and if with any luck, that should just keep going. So let's go ahead and grab a bunch of cobblestone here. I'm just going to make some gravel. Always can use more gravel. We love sifting gravel. That's our favorite pastime these days, right? So let's just throw some cobblestone in here, do the thing. And yeah, it looks like the crusher is not running out of power. That's what we want to see. Yeah, and this, how are you doing? Yeah, so it's being pulled out of here. The numbers are going down. That's good. So yeah, these are generating not a lot of power for us, but you know, we'll certainly take it. 30 Fe. You know, the only thing that we might be able to do to improve the performance here is if these were ice blocks, it might go faster, but I'm not sure. And also, I don't know if we can maintain ice blocks here without the use of a pure daisy. And I think the pure daisy might burn up the second the lava touches it. So this might be the way that we have to do it. But yeah, it looks like the crusher is doing its job, and we have plenty of power now. All right, so the last thing I want to do this episode is make the Tesla coil. I don't know whether or not it's even going to work for us here. I don't know if we have anything we need to charge, but we're going to go ahead and make one anyway. So we need to make ourselves 3 copper spools. I had 1 already, so that's 3 of those. And then, let's see what else. 1 piece of andesite alloy. I think we have some andesite laying around. Yeah, we'll take that. we are going to make a brass casing. Do we have any brass casings? We got some brass casings. All right, so we're gonna need some capacitors and some electron tubes. I made those off camera because it just took forever to do all of that stuff, and then brass sheets, which we had a couple left already. So now we can come back over here to our mechanical crafting station and put all of those in. Now, if I'm very, very, very lucky, yeah, it'll fit inside of this massive array that we've already built. So let's go ahead and put our 3 spools on top. 1, 2, 3. We will put our andesite underneath that, our brass casing underneath that, andesite, brass casing. We need to have a pair of capacitors on either side with our electron tube underneath. There we go. And then if I read that right, we just need our brass sheets on either side of those. There. And then if I push the magic button, oh, I have to turn on first. There we go. If I push the magic button, this all should come together slowly but surely into a Tesla coil. There we go. 1 Tesla coil done. Perfect. Well, we still have a lot of quests to complete here. We didn't make as much progress today as I would have liked, but we did get a little sidetracked with our resource generation. Obviously, over-automating things is always going to take a little extra time. But I think we're going to get back on track here and work on the rest of these immersive engineering machines here. The squeezer, we're going to work on the metal press. I might even make a bottler next episode if the recipe hasn't changed too dramatically, because from a bottler, I think we can make dirt, and from dirt, I think we can make clay. So having more access to automated clay would also be super helpful for where we're at. But that is going to have to wait. For now, we're going to call that the end of this episode. So thanks again for watching Enterprise Architecture, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.